What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Buzz. Daniel Cormier is not happy with Tom Aspinall after footage surfaced showing what was meant to be a private conversation between them. The clip, recorded before UFC 321, featured Cormier discussing fighters like Jailton Almeida and Alexander Volkov in what appeared to be an off-the-record exchange. The video quickly spread online, leading to speculation about Cormier's comments and intentions. Cormier has since spoken out to clarify the situation, explaining that his remarks were taken out of context. He stated that he was speaking to Aspinall about the current heavyweight division and meant no disrespect toward Almeida or Volkov. Cormier admitted that he could have worded things better, particularly regarding Almeida's grappling abilities, but insisted his comments were never meant to downgrade any fighter. During a follow-up discussion, Cormier expressed disappointment with Tom Aspinall for releasing the footage at all. He explained that when someone leans in to speak quietly, it's generally understood to be a private conversation, especially between two professionals. Cormier believed the exchange was part of an embedded segment, and said he trusted UFC production not to release such material. Despite his frustration, Cormier acknowledged his responsibility and apologized to Jailton Almeida for any misunderstanding. He emphasized that Almeida has always treated him with respect and deserved the same in return. While many fans applauded Cormier for owning up to his comments, others questioned whether Tom Aspinall was right to share what seemed like a private interaction. Some argue that as a public figure, Cormier should have been aware he was wearing a microphone with cameras present, while others believe Aspinall crossed a line by releasing the clip. The situation has sparked debate in the MMA community about privacy, professionalism, and transparency among fighters and commentators. Both men appear to have moved on, but the incident serves as a reminder of how quickly off-camera words can become public in today's digital world. Before moving on to the next news, we have a quick request for you. We're always working to improve our content and truly value your support. If you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon, it would mean a lot to us. That way, you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. Michael Chandler's next fight has officially been revealed, but surprisingly, it's not inside the UFC Octagon. The former Bellator lightweight champion is stepping away from mixed martial arts for a moment to return to his wrestling roots. It was announced by Real American Freestyle that Chandler will face former UFC fighter Chad Mendes in a wrestling match as part of the RAFO 3 event. The bout is set to headline the card on November 29 in Chicago and will be streamed exclusively through Fox Nation. This matchup marks a rare crossover between two combat sports veterans, both of whom built their reputations on wrestling before transitioning to MMA TOA. Fans are already buzzing about seeing Chandler and Mendes, two explosive athletes known for their grit and intensity, square off in a different competitive arena. While this is an exciting opportunity for Chandler to showcase his wrestling skills, it also adds more uncertainty about his UFC future. The lightweight contender has not fought since his 2022 loss to Dustin Poirier and has been waiting on a highly anticipated bout with Conor McGregor. With McGregor's repeated delays and ongoing speculation about his return, Chandler appears to be staying active in other ways. According to reports, Chandler's team still expects the McGregor fight to happen, potentially headlining the rumored White House card event if it materializes. However, no official UFC announcement has been made yet. Fans have mixed reactions. Some appreciate Chandler's decision to keep competing, while others worry this move may signal frustration with the UFC's slow scheduling process. Either way, the upcoming wrestling match between Michael Chandler and Chad Mendes promises to be a thrilling showcase of elite athleticism, discipline, and nostalgia for wrestling fans worldwide. Move on to another news. Aljamain Sterling has shared his perspective on Tom Aspinall's recent controversy, and surprisingly, he isn't siding with the interim heavyweight champion. Drawing on his own experience with an illegal knee incident that led to a stoppage, Sterling explained why he doesn't believe Aspinall's reaction during his fight was a good look, especially since he felt Tom was losing the bout at that moment. "I know everyone expects me to back Tommy on this," Sterling said, "but I'm not. After seeing the post-fight photos of his eye, it looked like everything was okay. I just have so many questions." He said he got poked in both eyes, but the one that looked worse didn't even seem to bother him. He was complaining about the other one, which to me looked fine on camera. Sterling went on to explain that Aspinall made a critical mistake in how he handled the situation inside the octagon. "When you say, 'I can't see,' that's the end. Those words are the nail in the coffin, Sterling emphasized. If you want your 5 minutes to recover and try to continue, you can't say that. Once the doctor hears those words, the fight's over. According to Sterling, it seemed like the fight was beginning to shift against Aspinall, and that's part of why the situation is being so heavily scrutinized. Watching it live, it looked like things were starting to get tough for him. That's what makes people question it, he said. Do I question Tom's integrity? No. But I do wonder if the poke hurt as much as it seemed. It just makes me wonder. While Sterling's comments have sparked mixed reactions, his honesty reflects the mindset of a fighter who understands the fine line between injury and optics. In combat sports, perception can change everything, and in this case, Sterling believes Aspinall's words inside the cage might have done more damage than the poke itself. Move on to another news. Dana White has made another round of roster cuts following UFC 321, releasing multiple fighters from the promotion. According to reports, both Hamdi Abdulwahab and Azat Maksum have officially been removed from the UFC roster, a move that left many fans surprised, especially given Abdulwahab's recent win. Hamdi Abdulwahab, the Egyptian heavyweight, had 4 fights under the UFC banner with a record of 2-1 and 1 no contest. His most recent performance came at UFC 321, where he secured a hard-fought unanimous decision victory over Chris Barnett, despite breaking his hand in the first round and having a point deducted. Despite showing resilience and toughness, the very qualities Dana White often praises, Abdulwahab's release puzzled many in the MMA community. Azat Maksum, on the other hand, had a more difficult run in the UFC. The Kazakh fighter entered the promotion with high expectations but struggled to maintain momentum. After losing his last 3 bouts, including a unanimous decision loss to Mitch Raposo at UFC 321, Maksum's UFC journey came to an end. Though his overall record remains solid at 15-3, his inability to secure a win since 2023 made his release less surprising. While the decision to part ways with Maksum seems understandable, Abdulwahab's release raised eyebrows given his recent victory and visible determination inside the cage. Many fans have voiced confusion online, questioning whether there were behind-the-scenes factors influencing the UFC's decision. The UFC frequently refreshes its roster after major events, trimming fighters who may not align with future matchmaking plans. Still, this latest round of cuts serves as a reminder of how competitive the promotion remains, where even a win doesn't always guarantee job security. As for both Abdulwahab and Maksum, they now join a growing list of fighters seeking new opportunities outside the UFC. Whether in PFL, Bellator, or regional promotions, both men will have a chance to rebuild and prove their worth once again on the global stage. Move on to another news. Islam Makhachev has shared his thoughts ahead of his highly anticipated welterweight debut against Jack Della Maddalena, and it seems the reigning lightweight champion isn't too concerned about his opponent's power. With UFC 321 in the rearview, all attention now shifts to November's upcoming card, where Makhachev will headline against JDM in what promises to be one of the year's most intriguing matchups. In a recent interview with ESPN MMA, Makhachev discussed his move up to 170 pounds and the adjustments he's making to his training and weight management. The Dagestani fighter revealed that he currently walks around at 191 pounds, approximately 87 kilograms, and expects the weight cut to be easy. It's very hard when you train twice a day to gain weight, Makhachev explained. I want to walk around 87 kilograms, and in 5 weeks, I want to be 83 kilograms. It's going to be a very easy weight cut, honestly. By fight week, Makhachev expects to weigh around 182 pounds, meaning he'll only need to shed roughly 12 pounds before the official weigh-ins. For a fighter who has spent years making the grueling cut to 155, this move to welterweight could offer a significant performance boost, more energy, better recovery, and less strain on his body. When asked about Jack Della Maddalena's power, Makhachev didn't appear fazed. He's not like one of those guys with crazy knockout power, he said confidently. In this division, there are fighters like Bilal Muhammad or Kamaru Usman who have real power. Strong, explosive shots. Jack doesn't have that kind of power. And he's not that big either. I don't think he has more than me. Makhachev's comments reflect the supreme confidence that has defined his career so far. Known for his dominant grappling and unmatched control on the ground, the Dagestani powerhouse believes his strength and fight IQ will more than compensate for any potential striking disadvantage. While some fans are intrigued by JDM's crisp boxing and aggressive style, Makhachev's composure suggests he's entering this fight with a clear plan. Dictate the pace, close the distance, and take the Australian out of his comfort zone. Whether his confidence holds up against Della Maddalena's striking remains to be seen, but one thing's certain. Islam Makhachev isn't losing sleep over his opponent's punching power. Move on to another news. In a recent episode of The Daddy Bag Show, Sean Brady and Joe Pyfer shared their thoughts on a potential rematch between Umar Nurmagomedov and Merab Dvalishvili, and both believe Umar would come up short again. Brady pointed out that in Umar's most recent fight, his conditioning appeared to fade toward the end of the third round, something that stood out to both fighters. Brady explained that while Umar remains one of the most talented prospects in the division, his performance didn't show the dominance many expected from him. He looked pretty tired by the end, Brady noted. Mario Bautista made him work hard, and I don't know if he wins a rematch against someone like Merab. Pyfer agreed, adding that Umar didn't exactly look like a heavy betting favorite in that fight. If he was listed as a 600 favorite, he didn't perform like one. Maybe more like a 300 or 250, he said. The two also highlighted the biggest difference between Umar and Merab: cardio dotting. Merab Dvalishvili's relentless pace and pressure are unmatched in the division. His ability to maintain energy and aggression from start to finish makes him one of the most exhausting fighters to face. Brady pointed out that the only realistic way to beat Merab is by knockout, and even then, the odds aren't great. Look at guys like Petr Yan, Corey Sandhagen, and Sean O'Malley, Brady said. Some of the best strikers in the division couldn't stop him. Merab just doesn't get tired. Meanwhile, Umar has shown moments of vulnerability. In his last bout, he was nearly caught by a flying knee that buckled his legs and later survived a deep ankle lock that could have ended the fight early. Those moments raised questions about how he'd handle Merab's unrelenting style over 5 rounds. On the other hand, Merab hasn't been in serious danger as champ. His pace, chin, and wrestling endurance make him one of the toughest matchups in the bantamweight division. The big question now is, if the UFC books this rematch, can Umar adjust his conditioning and strategy enough to survive Merab's pressure? Or will Merab's tireless engine and durability once again prove too much for the Dagestani contender? For now, Brady and Pyfer are siding with the champ, confident that Merab's cardio and resilience would earn him another victory. Move on to another news. In a resurfaced interview recorded 6 months ago, Jon Jones made bold claims about Tom Aspinall's mentality, suggesting that the British heavyweight might have a tendency to quit when faced with adversity. Jones discussed one of Aspinall's earlier fights, recalling a moment when his opponent twisted his ankle and Aspinall tapped out almost instantly. According to Jones, that reaction revealed something important about Aspinall's mindset inside the octagon. Jones stated, "There's a video that hasn't gone viral, but in one of his losses, he was already a black belt, a full-grown adult, and his opponent caught his ankle. He had no defense. He tapped so quickly. That tells me a lot about him." The former light heavyweight champion contrasted that moment with his own experience fighting Vitor Belfort, where he endured a painful armbar rather than submit. "Vitor had my arm locked up, and I was willing to let it break before giving up," Jones said. He further explained that the willingness to fight through pain and adversity separates champions from contenders. "When you're fighting at the top level, you can't have quit in you," Jones emphasized. "Sometimes you have to go through hell to get the win." Jones then mentioned that he would be interested to see how Aspinall performs in his upcoming fights, particularly against elite opponents like Ciryl Gane. He hinted that mental toughness, not just skill, would determine whether Aspinall could truly rise to championship level. These comments have resurfaced amid Aspinall's ongoing injury struggles, including recent reports of eye damage following a training incident. Fans and analysts are now revisiting Jones' words, debating whether the heavyweight champion's earlier remarks were a fair critique or a harsh assessment of a fighter still growing in experience. Regardless, Jones' comments highlight a long-standing truth in MMA. Physical power can win fights, but mental resilience wins championships. Move on to another news. The MMA community has exploded with reactions to Jon Jones' remarks about Tom Aspinall allegedly being a quitter. Many fans on social media took sides, with one writing, "Damn, Jon knew Aspinall was a quitter all along." Others criticized Jones for comparing a leg lock to an armbar, pointing out that a leg lock could end a fighter's career permanently, while an armbar injury usually heals within months. Some fans argued that Aspinall made the smart decision to protect his long-term health, saying that risking permanent damage isn't worth proving toughness. Others, however, praised Jones' warrior mentality, noting that real gladiators don't quit when things get tough. A few even turned the conversation back on Jones, suggesting he should stop avoiding a $30 million showdown with Aspinall if he truly believes he's tougher. The debate continues. Is Aspinall cautious, or simply lacking the grit of champions like Jones?